Let me know there's no, screen's black. Okay, so
Are we
I'll
getting
ask them if
audio?
we have- Is there audio? Somebody does need to say something else, if we can actually test to see if there is audio for us.
Mic is on.
Don't have beer unless I just drink Coke.
It's not doing anything.
Nothing?
I don't think. I feel like we're
Can Mark hear anything?
having this.
Yes, we have audio.
We have audio.
Okay.
Okay. We may just have to proceed with audio and no video.
Is it plugged in? There's no wires on the other side?
All the lights are on.
Everything's on.
Because didn't I
Oh,
plug it in on the other
owl's
side?
eyes aren't on.
Oh,
They come on and then they shut off for a little.
Yeah, they kind of
Probably
flicker.
overheating. That's the problem. You got a loose connection or something.
I think so.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's audio, so you can
Yeah,
go.
we have audio, so.
Okay, well, we'll just proceed then.
Actually, I had them all done.
nice.
I had more than one hair, trust me.
This is getting to be a little too much information.
Sure, there's a lot up here.
I'm sure it is. Okay, I will call the April 12th regular meeting of council to order at 6:06. And I'd like to apologize to anybody who might be listening to this. We seem to be having technical difficulties, and I believe that we have audio, but we don't have visual. And so we will be proceeding with the audio. I want to start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the town of Winnipeg Beach is located on First Nations Treaty 1 territory, the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, Dene people, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties made on these territories. We dedicate ourselves to move forward with Indigenous communities in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration to make Manitoba an inclusive and accessible place for everyone who lives here.
Be it resolved that the agenda for the April 12th, 2023 council meeting be approved as per the following additions. Additions, Public Works Report, Utility Report, Rec Report, Finance Report, and Fire Report. Addition, Grant Requests. Addition, Funding Agreement, Eco West.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Gendron. All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that the minutes for the March 22, 2023 regular meeting be approved as circulated.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby approved that council approves the accounts payable listing being check number 21141 to 21209, inclusive of checks, electronic payments, and payroll issued in the amount of $139,036.81 as circulated.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Gendron. Any questions, comments, discussion?
There was one, I'm just trying to find it.
Councillor Kozlowski.
It's for 6,000 something. Or 7,000.
I can't find it. Can't find it? Okay, any other questions, comments, points of discussion about the accounts payable? All in favor? Carried.
Bylaws, animal control bylaw for discussion. Councillor Kozlowski?
Councillor Kozlowski?
Which is for the animal control.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a cost breakdown, I see, I was handed to us today, for the year, 2022. And I don't know, is that 420 added into that 7385 or not?
Which one?
The $420.70, that was missed from the, I would imagine it's a total of the 7385.
No, that's for dogs.
Where's that?
Oh, dogs.
Yeah,
That's
versus
dogs.
dogs
The other
versus
one's
cats.
Okay, so, yeah, I know, but is that?
No, it's not added in, it's
So
just
it's
added
separate.
by column, yeah.
Okay, so it's separate then?
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, we're spending quite a few bucks on the cats. And I asked last meeting, I thought they were taken to the vets, in Gimli, apparently they're housed by the bylaw officer. I found out, and the bylaw officer feeds them, etc.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
not-
have we ever tried to, talk with the Gimli veterinarian about taking this maybe away from the bylaw officer and them handling it? Has that ever occurred at council?
Councillor Gendron?
Yeah, just to clarify, while it is one and the same person, who has the two contracts, Chris Stenke acting to do with the cats is his job as the animal control officer, not as the bylaw officer. He has two different contracts with them.
Yes, but I think the point.
No, and I understand that, I just wanted to clarify because he made reference to the bylaw officer looking after this. It is not the bylaw officer, we have two
Oh, he's wearing
contracts,
two hats.
it's the animal control officer.
Okay, thank you. Other discussion?
So there is regulation with under animal control, in reference to housing. If we're looking at the cost for housing, whether it's through a vet clinic or whether it's through, the ACAO, having the housing, the animals do still have to be housed. I don't believe there would be a reduction in cost with the housing because the vet would also have to house it under the regulation, for animal care and control. So,
We found out how many of these cats have been euthanized after a significant amount.
I do not have that data. I can request that information. I don't have it readily available, no.
Councillor Gendron and then Councillor Jarvis?
So just to clarify, want to make sure I'm following this correctly. Under animal control, we can't go straight to euthanizing.
There's
requirements
provincial
that we have,
regulation.
provincial standards that we have to follow regarding housing.
Correct,
Okay, and so that is what our animal control officer is following.
correct.
So our other option would be to not herd cats and run the risk of going back to where we were before we had an animal control officer, which is feral cats in the community.
Councillor Jarvis?
I think I had read somewhere, say 10 years ago, where there was a spay and a neuter program that was available, that we could opt out. And again, if we have this, at least, we witness kittens every spring, you know what I mean? There's tons of them. At least, are we able to do that? To at least pay for them to be spayed?
I think that's gonna be an additional cost, I mean, we can certainly look into it, but I believe that there's an additional cost to that. And usually spaying and neutering is a few $100s per cat. I
Yes.
know that there was a program before where, you know, we might be able to get it a bit cheaper if we sort of were doing it for a number of cats, but,
When the example was like, they keep getting the same cat, you know, like we recapture it and it runs away from home, you know, at least on the second or the third, and one of the things that Councillor Gendron was indicating was, there are time constraints, or you just can't euthanize, there are certain regulations, but on the second or third time, I think if we neutered them or spayed them, you know what I mean, that would alleviate a chunk of the problem.
I don't believe this is a catch and release program. I believe it's a catch, hold, either adoption occurs or euthanization
But
occurs.
there are people that don't put their cat on a leash, and you know, there's a number of them in the downtown area, and they just open the door, the cat goes out, and the cat runs wild. You know what I mean? So at some point in time, somebody picks that cat up, and then somebody comes along and claims it.
I just don't think that that's the majority of the cats we're talking
No.
about. Unfortunately, Winnipeg Beach has gotten to be known as sort of the feral cat capital of Manitoba, and I think lots of people are coming here and dumping their cats off, and then once you have a couple of feral cats who haven't been spayed or neutered, you leave it for a little bit, and before you know it, you've got whole piles of
No.
cats, and so I think that's the majority of the problem that we're having here.
And we have a number of derelict buildings where they can stay through the
That's
winter.
correct, that's correct. Councilor Kozlowski, did you have a recommendation that you'd like council to consider?
Well, I'd like to find out if we can chat with the vets in Gimli and see what they'd be charging, you know, opposed to our,
I don't think they would take
and I don't know if that's ever been done.
I'm not sure that the vets in Gimli would actually take
They
them.
must have holding cages for.
There might be a
for
no-kill
for sure.
shelter somewhere. Congratulations, Tara. We got ourselves some video and some audio now, it would seem. So you'd like to look into the Gimli vet as well as no-kill shelters? Is that what you're suggesting?
I don't know, like, is there something else we can do to, you know, this is, what is this, $8,500, $8,600 for the year? That could be used for something more important.
What do other people think?
I mean, there's still gonna be charges involved, if we go to a vet or a no-kill shelter, so, while it may save us money in looking at other options, I mean, it's not going to eliminate it completely, but it would certainly be worth perhaps checking to see if there is a significant difference in, our costs associated with it.
I agree. I think 7,800 is a 73.85 is a big chunk of cash.
Sure it is.
So if we can find other options that are less costly, and maybe check around, there's other solutions, maybe like vets would know, or even shelters, animal shelters. Because not all of these cats are, when we say feral, I mean, they don't start feral. I mean, within a year or 2 years, they become feral. But there's still some cats out there that you can tell by looking at them that was somebody's pet last year, you know what I mean?
Or is there somebody private in the area that will look after them, farmhouse, whatever?
Councilor Gendron?
That might be, Councillor Jarvis just hit on something that might be interesting to know is, of the cats that were, caught by our animal control officer, caught for lack of a better word, how many of them did the owner actually come forward and collect?
Have they had collars, tattoos? Your question is maybe,
also,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, sorry, and if the owner comes forward, are we recovering these charges from the owner?
Yeah, there's a black one that runs around downtown here recently, and I'm positive I saw that with some people about a year ago, but it's a really nice looking cat, so this one could even be tattooed, you know.
Do you want a cat?
No,
Get it in my head.
Just a question, just a question.
but it's a good looking cat, so it's obviously somebody's paid for this cat.
Okay. Okay, so I would imagine, after budget time and things have slowed down, that might be something that the office can, do a bit of research on. Okay.
Is there anything else there with that?
Was there anything else about the animal control issue that you'd like to discuss, Councillor Kowalski?
No.
No? Okay,
Okay, so
Thank you.
EDAM Module 1 for discussion, previous council resolution was passed to conduct the training seminar. So I'm looking for solidifying a date.
okay, and how much time are we gonna need?
It is definitely 4 hours, could be
That's
4
correct.
plus, less than 6.
And we're looking at a Saturday, is that correct?
That was up for council discussion.
Council, comments? Councillor Jen? Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. So this is for the community economic development. So it's module 1 of an 8 module thing, but this module is very beneficial for council, staff, actually almost anyone that just to learn what is community economic development and have an understanding of what that looks like. So when you're looking at your strat plan, and looking at growth and development, you have that background of what it is, what it isn't, and what you should be looking for. So it is a very informative session, and I do encourage councils to attend that as you know, going forward, making those decisions. You have some background with that.
Okay. So we're looking at a Saturday, I'm assuming in May, after the budget process? Are you thinking about May or June? Sharon?
I was leaving that up for council. We are looking at, you know, when we look at within that vision survey and tying some of that in, this is strictly up to what works for council. So we do have, when we look at conducting this, we are booking it for Winnipeg Beach specifically, and we'll be including staff members in that as well. So
Councillor General?
As a CAO, Sharon, what is your consideration with regard to staff being on a Saturday versus a weekday evening?
Well, I think correlating staff availability, there was a lot of expressed interest during managers' meetings previous to this item that I think when we're dealing with such a small network of people, I think it is valuable that you have a few people that understand that, as infrastructure is an important part of economic development, community economic development, making sure that we have those infrastructures in place before we start looking at what that means and having that take on it. So the different perspectives for everyone to have a clear understanding of that, regardless of I recognize needing to be cost effective. However, the value of having staff attend, and so if it's more convenient for council to be on a weekend, I think the value that the community would have for staff members to attend this one session, and recognizing max hours of 6 hours is it's a minimal expense line for the value to the community.
And I actually wasn't making reference to the financial impact. I was more making reference to infringing on their family time and whether they would be okay with it being a weekend.
I can't speak for staff.
Okay.
We have not had this discussion.
I do remember, I think you had said last meeting that we were talking about this, that it was a pretty intense day. It's not something that one can do at the end of their workday.
It is. I wouldn't recommend. It is a full 4 hours. Could be into 5. It would not last more than 6. So it is not a fluff. They are not fluff sessions. I think that when you're looking at trying to gain the benefit of any level of training, you would want people to be checked in. There is the risk of an evening unless staff is willing to accommodate their schedule for that day to alter the hours, but the expectation I think for anyone to work a full day and then take a training session in the evening, I don't think that you're going to get the value. I don't think the person will get the value out of that training, and is easy to check out. And so what you retain, so, but again, I will leave this up to council decision.
Okay, can I get a suggestion from council, please, in terms of when we can meet?
I think it makes most sense doing a weekday, doesn't it?
Pardon?
Doesn't it make the most sense doing it during a weekday?
I would think it would make the most sense, but I will leave that for.
So doing a weekday, is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
And is there a particular one that you are suggesting? Pick a day.
Actual weekday or a date?
I would just
Date.
pick a day and
Pick a day.
see how it goes.
Okay. So we're looking at May? How is, Thursday, May 18th? Just throwing it out there.
No,
Yeah.
Larry's not,
Oh.
Councillor Kozlowski's not.
I knew that.
How about the week before? Would be fine, May 8th to the 12th?
Okay.
Oh, no, she's not available, May 8th to the 12th. She is booked.
Okay.
So,
And the week after,
Get a calendar.
It's a
May,
short week.
so probably preferably not on the week that it's, more than a 4-day week.
I will let council pick their dates that they're choosing.
How is the 19th? Are you back on the 19th, Councillor Kozlowski? Are you available on the 19th? Mayor Jackson?
I've got a medical appointment.
Oh,
in
there
the
was
city
somebody
at
that
10
wasn't
o'clock.
available on the 19th. Okay.
How about the 29th, the 30th, or the 31st?
I'm sorry, I'm working those days.
Pretty sure the 25th and the 26th are out for me.
How's the 23rd?
That might be okay.
23rd,
May 23rd?
going once, going twice. May 23rd it is. Are we looking at the afternoon? Are we looking at the morning?
What is council's preference? I can see what is available.
My
Gendron?
thought is morning, so that staff, because if something comes up, staff are doing something in the morning and they can't get away, we run that risk. So at least if we start the day that way and something comes up, they can look after it in the afternoon.
Shall we say Tuesday, May 23rd at 9 o'clock?
We shall.
Thank you. That wasn't painful at all.
Okay. Whereas a request for donation for silent auction has been received by the town of Winnipeg Beach, therefore be it resolved that council authorize a silent auction donation to the Winnipeg Beach Curling Club.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Gendron. Seconder, please. Councillor Kozlowski. Discussion. All in favor?
What are we gonna,
What
Okay.
are we giving them?
Then let's go back to discussion.
What do we normally do? Have we done this before?
You are talking to the wrong person.
Right, exactly.
Since I've been here.
You've been here longer than
We
she
might
has.
have- probably a town Winnipeg Beach will package maybe some of our swag, I would imagine.
Yeah, like, don't we have hoodies and things?
We are running
Council-
very low.
We're running very low on goodies. Councillor Gendron.
Okay. I'd like to suggest a $100 donation.
Cash donation?
Cash donation that, $100 cash donation,
That can be spent on Winnipeg Beach swag.
Why don't we just buy a gift
Councillor
certificate?
Jarvis?
well, yeah. that's
Take a
another-
$100 gift card. You know, you have access to plenty of things, you just,
Oh, you mean like a Visa gift card or a MasterCard gift card?
yeah, just put
Yeah.
like yeah, exactly. You got a prepaid MasterCard or something and they can use it.
Yeah.
How are we all feeling about that, folks?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor? Carried.
Maple Street traffic for discussion.
Did everybody have an opportunity to read the letter that was submitted to us? Can we have discussion, please? Councillor Jandal.
So I did, I received the email from the resident, and I did give him a call and let him know that this is something that would be shared with the CAO, so all of council could have an opportunity to look at it and discuss it. That is how this council works. We work as a team. And the other thing he did mention to me when we were talking was the increased pedestrian traffic that they have. That they have a lot of pedestrian traffic with people coming from the trailer parks across the highway and going to the beach. But in addition, right now, again, with the bridge being out, that has also increased the traffic volume, the pedestrian traffic volume.
Councillor Jarvis.
So you're buying a house beside an airport, airplanes land, airplanes take off. You know, you're in a resort area, people come and go to the beach. I think it should be two-way traffic. We can't, you know what I mean, like, we have a natural flow pattern in a town that we have to be responsible for. We can't just say, well, you get a one-way and you don't, and you get a seasonal one-way.
I believe that this was a one-way in the past because lots of folks were using Maple as access to the marina, and they were bringing their trailers and boats down Maple, and it was causing lots of problems.
Are there any sidewalks down Maple?
No.
No, there are no sidewalks down Maple. Lots of kids on Maple, lots of foot traffic
two
on
Maples.
Maple, and lots of boats coming down
Maple
Maple.
Crescent, Maple, yeah.
Yeah, this is Maple Avenue that we're talking about. Other points of discussion?
Why was it changed back? Any idea?
Why it was changed back to a two-way again?
Two
I'm not sure when or how that happened. I was not on council then. When I was on council, it was a one-way, and Laura was a one-way the other way to accommodate, to decrease the amount of boat traffic. And I think that there was actually signs up on the end of Maple and Highway 9 saying boats and trailers, please do not use Maple, use Park. I don't know if that sign is still there, but it certainly was a consideration. And I think at that point, and I'm going back a number of years now because I was on council 2006 to 2010, there was some comments from our public works people that, you know, because it's just a gravel road, and that it was getting deteriorated because of the number of trucks and trailers and boats going down Maple Avenue. And I think that's also tipped the scale in terms of when we turned it into a one-way, so it couldn't be used for that. Councillor Jarvis and then Councillor Jensen.
That's a good point, the signs, because a lot of them, and I said about 4 or 5 months ago that somebody drove into the sign for the trailers for the park. They've never replaced it 2 or 3 years ago. They took it out, and it's never, so all the signage needs to be looked at, and you're right, they used to have signs for where you could put your boat, what streets were acceptable. Maybe we just need to fix the sign, but whenever you make somebody's one street a one-way, the traffic has to go somewhere else, so all you're doing is diverting extra traffic to somebody else's street.
Well, I think the hope was that if they couldn't use Maple to access the marina, that they could use Park, which is
We
paved,
should,
which
like you
is,
say, we should look at the signs and maybe that'll rectify it.
okay, Councillor Jandal.
There is a sidewalk on the north side of
Yes.
Maple.
I thought so.
Yes.
On the north side. Now, is it the whole distance?
Yep.
Right up to
Yes.
Prospect?
It is.
The streets are narrow, all the streets are narrow, that is, that's just the nature of the beast.
Councillor Jandal.
So, I don't remember how far south it started and how far north it went, but there did used to be a very large section that was alternating one-ways
Yes,
on and off of Prospect,
yes,
between Prospect and Highway 9.
that's correct.
Yeah.
I think from Park up was the alternating one-ways.
Park to where?
I think it was up to First anyways, that there was
Oh, long ago.
alternating one-ways.
Oh, well, I've been a cottage owner for 30 years, up to 30 years this summer, and it was one-ways when I arrived. And remember, you're not supposed to ask me any question that says, do you remember? because the answer is no, I don't.
Yeah,
But Encyclopedia John that I live with would probably know.
okay. Councillor Gould, any comments?
Not right now.
Councillor Kozlowski?
May I make the recommendation
Yes,
that we do have to address the street sign or the speed limit signs? So having a meeting designated to looking at our infrastructure with our works department as well being present to look at sort of a strategic planning regarding our roads and including possibly these issues or these items at that time when we're looking at creating the master plan for the roads in the area.
Because it's one thing, in terms of the pedestrian traffic, it's also something else if we've got lots of heavy trucks and trailers going down there and if it's compromising the roads in any kind of way. So, we'll take it under advisement. Any further discussion on this?
Yeah, so just a question. The email was directed to me, but will you be following up with
I
Artie,
can,
or would you like me to?
I can send the response. I
Thanks,
can send the response. Next item is Sustainergy for discussion. Before I look into this item too in depth, it was just preliminary for council to get some consensus if this is something that council is looking at exploring or not. FCM has sponsored a grant to Sustain Energy that monitors or puts sensors into municipal buildings in reference to emissions and looking at, so the sensors would be monitoring the lights on off, to looking for ways to reduce your emissions and making recommendations. There is no cost to the municipality. The information is uploaded into like the cloud and we do have access to a spreadsheet as well as this organization and it is monitored for 1 year. Currently right now there are 2 Manitoba municipalities that have gone ahead with this opportunity, and that is Flin Flon and Altona. I have not reached out to them at this point. I'm waiting for direction of council if this is of interest to council and if further investigation on this program is needed.
Open for any kind of discussion. Councillor Gould?
Yeah, I would love to see something like this for sure. Absolutely. I think it would be good for us.
Councillor Jandon?
Yeah, I agree with Councillor Hall. I think it's, we certainly don't, you know, they've gone after the grant money, so we certainly don't often get an opportunity to get something significant and useful for moving forward, available to us for free. So I would certainly like to.
Additional information before making the decision or making the decision?
To me, additional information might be, so what is your plan? What are you offering to do for us?
So when I first read this, I thought, no way. Because I might be missing something, so I would certainly like to be able to hear from other council members about this. So we're gonna have all these sensors throughout all of our buildings, sending information to somebody somewhere. And I'm not sure what those sensors are gonna tell us, besides that on Wednesday evenings you have your lights on. Yeah, we know that because we're here on the meeting. What else are they gonna tell us?
They might tell us consumption.
And so?
So how we can save money in the future by swapping out, say, halogen lights with LED lights, or, you know, if our furnace is running too long for a certain period of time. I mean, they don't really go into detail on what they're gonna be monitoring, but I think any sort of information is powerful for us when it comes to something like this. I mean, I guess if you wanna get more information on how they're gonna break it down.
And what information is actually gonna give us. I don't know, as soon as I read about somebody from another province wanting to put sensors in all our equipment in all our buildings, there was just a little bit of a, what is this?
It's going to give us information on the energy efficiency, but probably more importantly, the energy inefficiencies of how we operate our buildings. And, you know, bring to light areas where they're seeing that we're not being efficient so that we can hone in on what we need to do or change in order to start operating more efficiently and therefore less costly.
So they are willing to provide a presentation, so I can look at scheduling that for
Yeah.
April 26th, prior to council meeting. Does that make sense?
Then we could ask
Or, I
questions.
mean,
Sorry, prior to council, or would it be information that could be done as a delegation at the meeting?
if, I'm not sure, Councillor Hool, if we were having a Teams meeting with the OWL, what the technology piece
Oh, okay.
looks like.
They wouldn't be on
There?
site, okay.
Mhm. Well, they can see us.
Yeah, could they hear us?
Well, I guess it all depends on if
No, we tried, it's a nightmare.
it's working.
But can we have a Teams meeting and still be airing and like how
Oh.
everything works there? I do not know
Or what about a
the
Teams,
tech piece.
what about a Teams meeting and recording for upload later on YouTube?
We could do that.
Okay.
Okay. So on the 26th, we have the RCMP at 5:30.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
So you wanted to
couldn't
do it
that.
at 5 o'clock?
Oh, as a delegation.
So it'd be part of the meeting, it
Okay,
seems,
as
as
a
part of the
delegation.
delegation,
Okay.
providing, They're
It's a small
available
amount,
for the
and it's a
evening.
short enough time.
so
For
I
delegation.
can ask how much, the time for presentation, and,
Councillor Wu?
Yeah, sorry, at the bottom they say, it takes about, they say with a 15-minute phone call, they can provide us with a overview on how this works.
Okay.
So I don't think it'll be too long.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to know how long the actual monitoring takes place. Is it over a year? They give us a,
they do leave it, I do have that where they do monitor for the year. After the year, the sensors can stay, they will give you the sensors, and then there's a $300 per year to continue to utilize those sensors.
I see.
So it'll be good to find out what information they'll be gathering, what kind of detail, and if that's gonna be helpful for us. Councillor Gendron?
Yeah, so just sort of quick thought on that then is that if for $300 a year, we could keep the sensors and we were implementing some changes, we could then continue the monitoring to see if our changes were effective.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Have they got a Winnipeg office? I
No.
think there's nothing here for Winnipeg.
No,
No.
it is
Alberta's
based out of
closest.
Alberta.
That's why they want a phone call maybe.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Next item?
whereas an advertisement was posted for an equipment operator with an application deadline of March 31st, 2023, and whereas interviews were conducted, therefore be it resolved that council hire Robert Boydson for the position of equipment operator 2 with a start date of May 1st, 2023.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis? Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Gendron? Discussion?
Welcome back.
Welcome. Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried.
So addition, be it hereby resolved that council authorize administration to apply for the Arts, Culture and Sport Community Celebrations Grant intake for Harvest Fest celebration.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis? Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski? And I trust that all of you had an opportunity to read the proposal from our rec director in terms of what she'd like to be doing for Harvest Fest and the outlay costs. So any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council authorize administration to apply for the West Shore Community Foundation's grant intake for the arena ice plant motor.
Don't have that.
That's on the third page
Here it
of the
is.
package.
Thank you. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Seconder, please. Councillor Hool. Discussion? Councillor
How much is
Kozlowski?
this motor? We got prices.
Pardon?
How much is the motor?
I think it was
On page 3 of the handout.
laid out on
Yeah,
page
so
3.
so I don't know, the total that she's requesting is listed on the handout, however, this was a last minute agenda item, so this is all the information that I've been provided at this time. I can certainly get additional information. But my guess is you're probably not getting a motor for less than 30. I could be wrong though.
Further discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council authorize administration to apply for the Healthy Together Now grant intake for sports equipment.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Cool, seconder, please. Councillor Gendron. Discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that the CAO be authorized to sign the funding agreement between the town of Winnipeg Beach and Eco West for the EV charger project.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Gendron. I trust everybody had an opportunity to read this as part of their package. Any questions or discussions? All in favor? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council approves the committee reports as presented.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Gendron. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Jarvis. I trust everybody's had an opportunity to read the reports. Questions, comments, points of discussion? Councillor Kozlowski.
Fire chief's report, false alarms. Are the homeowners charged for that, or is it a service we're providing free of charge?
I would have to review that. I'm not familiar with the bylaw. I have not reviewed it at this time.
Councillor Gendron.
I noticed in the recreation report, that they have found 2 interested instructors for swimming lessons for the summer, which is great news. There's a shortage of them everywhere, so fingers crossed that those that are interested come through. I think they'll have rather full classes if we go back to having swimming classes this summer, so nice to see.
Other discussions? CAO, is your report in as part of this?
It is, and so that is up for discussion.
And I have I would like to suggest that we follow the recommendation of adjusting the student wage to reflect a parallel and incentive for student employment and go into a memorandum with the union on that.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay, carried. So we accepted the reports and we also accepted,
I'll put
Do we have a
together a
separate-
formal with an LOU resolution. I didn't have that in place until I
Okay.
knew where the direction of council.
yep, okay.
Be it hereby resolved that the correspondence be accepted as circulated.
Can we get a mover, please? Mr. Gendron. Get a seconder, please? Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Jarvis. Discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Thank you.
Be it hereby resolved that council moves in camera at 6:50?
No, we have the Bridge Committee, we have the
Oh, sorry.
Selk Sea District, and the post-season
Sorry,
report.
I
It's okay.
zoomed right ahead there.
Yeah, I get that.
Bridge Committee for discussion. Councillor Gendron?
Councillor Gendron?
Oh, I did get a reply from Councillor Hull on this, that, the attendance was not as a councillor. So I don't have anything to report on it.
Okay. Councillor Hu, you were at that meeting, yes?
I was, yeah.
Okay, good. I read on Facebook that they were talking about some temporary structure for the summer. Can you inform us of what that conversation was?
No, there was no discussion of temporary. They were hoping that something might have been put in, but the cost would have been too much.
And, you know, I consider my source here in terms of Facebook being my source.
Yeah, that's,
And a few of them were saying that they were in conversation with the MLA in terms of, and they are probably going to be getting a temporary structure over Prospect, which really sounds quite strange to me, and certainly not been part of our discussions with the province.
no, they didn't discuss anything that we didn't already know.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for that clarification.
Be it hereby resolved that council approves the committee reports as presented. Did I read that out already?
Yeah.
Oh, did? Okay, thank you guys.
We even
It's
voted.
been a lot, thank you. Okay.
Selkirk Weed? Do we need to do anything with that?
No,
I see. So there's just those board reports and stuff, right?
Mhm.
it's old information,
It's
we
old.
talked about that.
Okay. Let's go on camera, Sharon.
Be it hereby resolved that council moves in camera at 6:52 PM to discuss matters that are in the preliminary stages and personnel matters, and be it further resolved that any matters discussed while in camera can be held confidential until such time as discussed in open council.
Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Gendron. All in favor? Carried.
can we extend the sleep time
Yeah.
for the owl? For my sleep time, can we extend my sleep time?
Yes,
Should be good.
you need to.
We're good.
Be it hereby resolved that council moves out of camera at 7:45 PM and resumes the regular meeting of council.
Can you move it, please? Councillor Jarvis. Seconder, please. Councillor Gendron. All in favor? Carried.
Be it resolved that council for the town of Winnipeg Beach will not recognize any proclamation requests in council meetings.
I'm gonna move it, please. Councillor Jarvis, seconder, please. Councillor Kozlowski. All in favor?
No, call for the question,
Call for
please.
question, please.
I'd like to request a recorded vote.
Recorded vote. All in favor, please?
For a recorded vote.
No. Recorded vote is happening. All in favor of the resolution? All opposed? Carried.
Be it hereby resolved that council adjourns the April 12th, 2023 committee council meeting at 7:46 PM.
Move it, please. Councillor Jarvis. Seconder, please. Councillor Gendron. You done?